What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unplayable. It's your favorite show about our favorite games. Is that what David says? Except this time it's just Star Wars Unlimited.
You got some work to do, Coach.
Yeah, as you guys can tell, David is not here, which means that we're very off script because there is no script. So,
that's great.
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
I'm just going to try to make this as awkward as possible where I'm just not going to say anything. And you're going to be like, what do I do now?
Yeah, just smile at the camera, nodding like...
I'll just keep talking. I'm down with that.
I'm doing great. I've been having a lot of fun. We're just going to go straight into SWU because nobody cares about other stuff. So,
well, I don't know. They might care about the camel race.
Wait.
Oh, true. I did go see Camel Race, and this was not Camel Up, the board game. This was... We had camels in Kentucky, and so I had to go see what all the fuss was about.
Yeah, you were telling us about this before we started recording, and
so
we were both very confused.
One camel ran off the track. One camel ran 5 feet and then stopped, and one actually made it to the finish line. And so you could bet on these camels. I did not, thank goodness, because I would have bet number 2, which did run immediately off the track. It was like doing donuts on the infield.
I mean, that sounds more fun than running the race. So
it was awesome. I'm so glad that I chose to do that yesterday. So Sunday well spent, that's for sure.
Where's our Star Wars icebreaker, Coach?
Oh, I don't know. Where is it? Where is it, Jay? What's our icebreaker?
You telling me you don't use ChatGPT to do this whole thing? I gotta do all the work.
Yeah, you want an icebreaker? You got to provide the icebreaker.
Okay. Well,
that's how this
you
works.
guys keep talking.
I do literally zero work and I show up, and that's how this
Mike,
works.
How was your week?
All the work that I do is after we've already recorded. Week was good. I don't know. Played a bunch of games. I saw a concert this weekend, which is not Star Wars Unlimited related at all, but it was great.
Who'd you go see?
Hiatus Coyote.
And obviously I know who that is, but for those who don't, if you want to go and share.
Yeah, they're like a neo soul band, I would say, from Australia. They're quite good. Check them out.
Okay,
it's a fun show. All right, what's our icebreaker?
Do not use ChatGPT to get an icebreaker because these are terrible.
Oh, no.
The first one was, if you were a Jedi or Sith, what color would your lightsaber be?
Oh, that's...
And it's like, if you're a Sith, you only have one option.
Right.
There's like not much you can say about it. You're just like, okay, green, because I like the color green.
Yellow.
Purple, duh. If you had to assemble a team of 3 Star Wars characters to help you survive in a galaxy far, far away, who would you choose and why? Like,
I like
what
how
is
they
that?
specifically in the question specify it's in a galaxy far, far away.
That's right. No
Terrible.
planet Earth here.
You just had to make sure that it was a Star Wars question.
Yeah.
What if we each pick one, and that would be our super team to protect us?
Okay.
So Mace.
I don't even know if I would pick Mace. I would pick someone else. I'd probably pick like...
Are these like our bodyguards? Are we like celebrities in this universe and we're picking
Let's
our bodyguard
say, for
squad?
example, you were on a giant star cruiser.
Okay.
And you're being invaded by a bunch of just Mandalorians and yet a Sith and just all kinds of creatures.
Dang.
Just wait. It's like Call of Duty Zombies, except on a spaceship, and it's just all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
Star Wars related things.
2 generic answers between Qui-Gon Jinn or Yoda. I'm going to take Yoda, though. I've seen him put in work against a bunch of fodder, and I think he would just handle it well.
Nice.
Respect. I would go with Luke just because he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Yoda, Luke.
Who's the best AOE person in Star Wars? Darth Maul, maybe. He's got the double lightsabers. He can just like spin it around a bunch. And
This might be a hot take, but apparently Soul does some AoE damage when he does his little force wave.
True.
That is a...
I don't want him protecting me though.
No.
I'm gonna go with Darth Maul.
Okay, cool.
That's fair.
Yoda, Luke, and Darth Maul saving the planet. Galaxy far away.
Working together.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly. All right. So, do we want to talk about Star Wars Unlimited? What'd you guys do? What'd you play? What are you excited about right now? GenCon's in a week, which we can talk about later. But what's
2 weeks really, right? A little less than 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
It's Monday, so next Wednesday is when we leave.
We leave next Wednesday.
So a week and a half, a week and 4 days.
to answer your question, Mike, I played a locals with a very thrown together Luke Green deck and somehow went undefeated with like a half rebels, half like new cards kind of build, and was laughing the entire event because I was like, why is this deck performing so well? And so then I went to the drawing board, put something together. Jay called it trash about 4 different times. And I've been playing it nonstop. And it's really good. And I'm probably going to do a deck tech on it soon. So that's been my week as well.
Wow.
I probably have 30 or 40 games on it this week, which for me is a ton of games.
I'll save you guys some time. Don't watch the deck tech. It's terrible.
I'll do it. Wait till
I'm
after
just
Gen
kidding.
Con, because it's probably come to Gen Con at this point. I've been loving it.
No, that's awesome. So
That's sick.
what are some of the reasons you think the deck is doing well?
Yeah, the quick version. One, no one's playing Luke Green right now, so it's like you've almost forgotten that it's even cards in there. When I saw them revealed, Maz Kanata and Rose Tico were 2 cards that I really wanted to put into a Luke deck and see what could happen for it. Specifically with Maz, Ewing coming out, getting that to a 3/3 very quickly, 4/4 potentially, was very cool as a 1-drop. It seemed like there's a lot of potential there. Because too, it's like if you play it on turn 1 and then shield it immediately with Luke's ability, nobody wants to put in resources to kill a 1/1 shielded. And it, again, by turn 3 or 4, it's now a 5/5 putting in work. And then Rose with
cool.
Energy Conversion Lab lets you attack and be a 4/8 right away, which is just disgusting. So I usually like to use that play on 5 resources. So you play Rose, ambush it in, it's now a 4/8, and then you get to use Luke's ability to shield it up.
That's cool.
And then it's just the engine starts rolling with that. Luke's coming out next turn, Obi-Wan's coming out next turn, all sorts of shenanigans from there. But from there, it's just a good value engine. So the deck never runs out of gas. It always has plays, a lot of Restore, a lot of Sentinel. It just kind of clears the board and you'll win inevitably kind of idea.
That's cool.
It's been fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've got a few decks I have in mind for taking to Gen Con. I did actually do some testing this weekend, which was nice, like in-person testing
Nice.
with a buddy of mine from around here because I was doing birthday stuff, having a board game day and gaming day for my birthday. Because my birthday is actually the day that we fly to Gen Con. So I don't have a time between now and when we leave to have any kind of a birthday bash. Yeah, so... I went ahead and did it like a week and a half early, but that's fine. I played a couple of decks. We probably played like 15 games total. The 2 decks that I played were double red Kylo and green Sabine. The double red Kylo deck was actually Mike's list that he slaughtered me with back to back a while ago when we were doing some testing. And then the Sabine Green list was the Darksaber list posted from KTOD. I used basically the same list. I think I changed a card or 2, but kept the most of it the same. And that both of those decks feel really good. I played against a slew of other decks. I played against Cad Bane, Bo-Katan, another green Sabine, and then a Kylo green deck, I think, or maybe it was a double red Kylo. And both of them felt pretty good, but it did feel like games where Kylo would lose, Sabine just felt like it was way stronger. I don't know. Sabine Green just felt like a more powerful deck that you didn't have to operate the most efficiently for it to feel like it was powerful. Kylo, for it to have those powerful turns where you're like putting a fallen lightsaber on Toro, you're flipping out Kylo to have full 5 damage. You really had to put in work and kind of anticipate what your opponent was doing so that you weren't just discarding cards to buff your units for no reason and all that kind of stuff. So there's a little bit of that. But Kylo did still feel very powerful, especially the times you got to do the things that he does well.
Yeah. There's turns sometimes in that deck where you can deal like 18 damage in a turn, and even more, and it feels insane. And then there's other games where you you feel like you can't do anything, and you're just like run out of gas super quick because you're discarding like left and right to Kylo. So
yeah,
it's a weird one.
I did play Cad Bane once, and I found a cool thing that Forlom, if you keep their board clear and they flip Sabine. Forlom
Oh,
one
you just
shots it
one-shot it.
because you
That's
get
cool.
to ping and kill or swing for 4, and he survives. That feels really strong.
That's cool. Yeah.
And you can
That
pretty
sounds strong.
easily keep their board clear with like McClunkies and Greedos and stuff like that. So, yeah. Anyway.
Were you playing it with red? With Tarkington?
No, I was playing green Cad
Oh,
Bane.
nice.
Ooh.
I like the
Green
idea of
Cad.
green and playing like commission to search for like Forlo and Zuckus and try and get that more consistently. I think that is pretty fun. And,
Yeah, I was playing my buddy's
Salacious is
deck.
pretty cool.
Yeah, he had Salacious Crumb in there.
Yeah.
He gave me the deck, and I looked through it, and I made some changes with his cards because I only built Kylo red and Sabine green, but I played his Cad Bane to play against one of his decks because he also had the same decks built, green Sabine and Kylo, and we didn't want to just play the same 2 decks the whole time, so he
Makes sense.
brought some extra decks, and he had like triple. What's the Lady Proxima plus like Salacious Crumb and all that stuff, and I think the Proxima plan is kind of a trap. So I told him, take
I
these out.
agree.
You don't want to play these. But I left the Salacious Crumb in there. He only had 1, but it feels like it's totally worth it, especially with McClunky and stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I feel like it
super
does enough as a
flexible.
1-drop where it's like it's fine to have in there, but if you're relying on that as like your total win con, like yeah, maybe don't do that.
He also had 1 super laser tech, but 2 price on your head, which I thought was interesting because it still gives you 3, but then you have the option between the 2. I'm not sure which one I like more, but at least price on your head can't be played around as easily as super laser tech.
I've run into so much upgrade hate recently that
Yeah, that's fair.
and like your opponent playing McClunky bouncing their own dude or playing I've been playing a ton of Bosk, just like every version of Bosk. I'm kind of obsessed with Bosk right now. And I came across a game where I put price on your head on something and then my opponent like bounced their own unit with a Bright Hope, and I was like, oh man, I got to think about this too now. So I think people are getting wise to
Yeah, that's fair.
including stuff that can get rid of bounties and
Yeah.
other upgrades in their decks, which is
SLT might just be
Yeah.
better than.
yeah. I mean I could see having both or having
Yeah.
like a sideboard plan where you bring them in or bring them out depending on what you're playing against, and if they have ways to remove your upgrades, because if they don't have ways to remove those upgrades, they're very strong.
Sure.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, are we thinking like capture is probably the best way to get like mess with the SLT strategy? But like that's such like a niche, like what they're trying to. I
Yeah.
mean, you can bounce it, but
I haven't really seen very much capture out there at all, honestly.
yeah, I've seen a couple Java builds that try to utilize it, which get gross. But
Yeah, I mean, if Java's flip turn is insane if you
Yeah,
have like a
true.
Dryden in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
And it's
pretty
like
sweet.
you play a big dude on 5 or 6, like a Zuckus, flip, capture it, play
Yeah,
Dryden, take their unit to your side of the field. Like that's an insane flip turn.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get there in that deck.
That's like a
without being dead.
Palpatine-esque like flip turn.
But a turn earlier.
Yeah, turn earlier, but it requires a lot more setup and has more counterplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and requires you to have the specific 7-drop in hand to make it
Right.
worth it. But
Yeah.
when it goes off, very powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So those are the decks I've been playing.
nice, cool. I already mentioned I've been playing a bunch of Bosk. I'm like 90% sure that I'm going to play some kind of Bosk deck at GenCon. I've been
I
playing.
don't think that you searching or saying you're looking to buy a boss showcase in our,
I
in our
already bought one.
Discord spoiled anything.
Could be a red
I
herring,
did.
you
I
never
did
know.
buy one. No, I did buy one.
Nice,
So
let's
now
go.
I'm obligated. I do have Sabine and I mean I guess I have all the set one showcases, but I have an extra Sabine and an extra Palpatine.
yeah, if
So
you could bring the
I
Luke showcase
play
to
one of
Gen Con,
those.
that'd be great. I'll use
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, oh yeah, that's the one that one of 2 that I can't bring. I like I want to play Vader, but there's no showcase, so I can't play Vader.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is what
I
it
want
is.
to play Kylo, but you don't have the Kylo showcase.
I don't, not yet. But yeah, that's I don't know. My week in Star Wars Unlimited is just playing
The
a bunch
Kylo
of Bosk.
showcase is super expensive right now.
Yeah, isn't that the most expensive one, or is Rey?
I think Ray's still more expensive, but
They're
it's
both-
like
they're both up there.
$450 or
That's
something.
Wow.
really
That's
expensive.
insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. Cool. All right. Well, for the rest of the show, we're just gonna go through some listener questions because that is what we do when David's not here. We get
That's our
You gotta
plan.
catch up every now and then.
we
This
get
is
the
our
audience
opportunity.
to give us a script for us.
It is funny that listeners never get to hear David's opinions on things, but that's how you roll.
That's okay. They don't want to hear him anyway.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So first question is from Chosen One Charlie.
We could
Yeah,
also
what's up?
do some Gen Con predictions if we want to.
Okay. Okay. I agree. We should do that. Let's do that. That's the last thing we're going to do.
That's fine.
Before we get out of here.
There's
But
also,
actually, wait. We should do that next week because we probably will
do you think
a
there's a
podcast
chance
next
we
week.
record before Gen Con?
We could record next Monday.
Okay.
I think we could do it.
All right.
We'll give our predictions this week, and then we can make adjustments to them next week.
We
if
can make
record next week.
predictions this week, and then the whole next podcast can be David's predictions.
The entire podcast.
A 3-minute podcast. Like, guys, everyone's on Churrit. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, he's going to predict Churrit at the top because he's going to bring Churrit, and he's going to be the one at the top. So, first question from Chosen One Charlie. What are your must-have accessories for play and storage? I like this question because I'm always on the hunt for cool ways to store and, upgrade my out-of-game stuff, cool tokens, cool storage options. So what do you guys bring with you when you go? I guess let's stick with it. Like, what do you bring with you to the local game store when you play? And then, like, how do you store your collection at home?
That's a good question. I don't have any of my show and tell with me because I didn't know this was going to be a question. I do highly recommend and like the GameGenic boxes that they have for Star Wars Unlimited.
Yeah.
They are a little bulky, but if your backpack is not a backpack that's got like multiple spots, like my backpack has like a back spot for like a laptop or like I put my like trade binder in there or something, and then it's got like another spot, and it's a little cramped for the bit how thick those deck boxes are, but I make it work. And if you have a backpack that is not cramped at all, then they work fine. So I really like those. I like having Star Wars related playmats or unplayable related.
Absolutely.
Naturally.
Those are like the two deck or playmats that I use 100% of the time. Let's see. I always use Dragon Shield sleeves. Even our unplayable ones are Dragon Shield sleeves. They just feel like, even with how crappy they've been lately, they feel like they break less and like get dented up less during tournaments, so that you don't have to worry about having to re-sleeve your deck during a deck check or anything like that.
That's the worst.
Yeah. So, and to be honest, I think we mentioned this in the other video we did, but if you're going to the Gen Con event, just bring regular sleeves. Don't bring stuff with pictures on it and crap, because if you end up getting on stream and you don't have extra sleeves, that's going to be a miserable time.
Unless you use the GameGenic ones. But if you use those, you should bring extra
outer
packs.
sleeves.
Yeah.
And
or
outer sleeves.
Yeah.
Which
I won't be doing that.
Yeah. So there's that.
What have you been using the
Tokens.
laser gaming tokens?
I do really like the laser gaming tokens. Ours are streamer edition, so they're very
Huge.
big. At least mine are. You have a set
I have
that's
both sets,
not.
yeah.
So I do actually still use them at locals, but I don't know if I want to carry them around Gen Con because of how big they are.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I haven't decided yet. I'm either going to use the giant streamer edition tokens because I just like them that much, and I like having the Sentinel ones so that like it procs my mind of all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the GameGenic ones are also really nice. So those are the two options for me.
Nice.
What about you guys?
Jim?
Mine's when I go to an event, I definitely have like the deck pod that I store, like the main deck that I have, and then I'm just using the GameGenic tokens on the bottom there. Also just bring like a side loader case as well, just for anything to pick up, some extra decks just in case we run it, like finish a game early and have plenty of time just to throw something else. It's locals and casual, so I just like having a couple options there. Yeah, nothing too crazy though. I'm normally tossing it in a backpack, have my random unplayable mat with me, and good to go there. So I'm probably the worst person to ask this question. Currently, most of my cards are just stacked up on like a bookshelf right now. Color coordinated, they're in order, but they're definitely not in like a fancy binder or anything like that. So like I said, normally just when I go to an event, it's tossing them in a backpack and just having a couple of cases with me.
Nice. All right. So for me, I do use the GameGenic deck pods because they're the best. I love them. They're like super good. So I will do a show and tell real quick. So give me 1 second.
wasn't prepared for this question has them right there readily available.
I have all my stuff on my desk next to me, including
perfect.
like all of my set 2 cards from the boxes that I have not organized or put away yet. So it's a mess. But
I usually have all of my stuff up here, but because I played games in person
you
this
brought them down.
weekend, they were downstairs. So
I have like I like to mix and match the tops and the bottoms.
Yeah,
which is
I
fun.
feel that.
Chaotic. I love it.
And then yeah, so tokens in the tray, obviously. But for the deck, I keep all my decks in these GameGenic. I think they're called Bastion deck boxes. So they're like thick deck boxes. They fit 50 cards plus your 10 card sideboard. And then I keep my leader in a case outside of it. And then this like fits perfectly like into the slot here. And it just makes it really easy to like keep a
Take it
bunch
out
of
of
these
there.
decks on a shelf and then swap like which deck I'm going to bring to the store whenever. So
cool.
that's typically what I do. And then, yeah, I use the laser gaming tokens. They're really nice. I like them a lot. The other ones that I really like that I don't currently own but are cool are the metal fab token ones. They're just like very high quality. I think some of the designs are maybe a little bit busy for my taste, but they feel really nice. And then for like storage in my house, I have basically like a card catalog system where I have these like drawers and
like you're at a library or something.
basically. So for each aspect combo, so it's like blue hero, blue villain, blue, green, whatever, like so on and so forth. Like there's a drawer with an insert that holds all the cards in like numbered order, so I can just like open the drawer, go into the filing cabinet, find the cards that I want, build the deck super easily. It's too hard for me to show you guys, but if you go in our Discord channel and you're interested, just ask me and I'll show some pictures. But it makes it super easy to build decks and find the cards I'm looking for. So yeah.
The way I store my cards, I have a really big GameGenic binder, the like hardback one, the texture on it, and it's I do it in number order, so it's just sorted in number order. I have the 3 coolest versions of every card
Nice.
slid in there. They're inner sleeved, and I put them all 3 in the same pocket. You guys are gonna hate that, but
They're sleeved, so
I
whatever.
go through and I just like pick the cards I want to put in my deck, and I just take them out, and then I'll put them back in there when I'm done. And then I have like a BCW, just the white boxes that has
Oh yeah.
all of the card. Like I'll have all the blue cards in one row, all the red cards, and so on. And they're not organized at all. They're just organized by color.
Gotcha.
That
Nice.
stresses me out. I need some organization there.
Yeah, my set 2 cards are not organized at all. And when I was trying to make some set 2 decks, it was just like, okay, pick up this giant pile of red cards and try to sort through until I find it. So yeah,
Stresses me out, y'all.
awesome. So yeah, I hope this answers your question, chosen one, Charlie, and we're gonna move on to the next one. So the next one is set 1 leader help. Zane Ellis is asking the question. As a follow-up question I asked a couple weeks ago, what set 1 leader that doesn't rhyme with Yoba Bet got the most help from set 2 cards? So I feel like enough time's gone by where we can answer this
Except
question.
for Boba.
Yeah, except for Boba.
Oh, is that who he was referencing? Or they were referencing? Interesting.
I think Sabine definitely is still a top hit. I mean, Darksaber, tons of heroic cards to keep your 4-cause deck like juicy. Ketsu, I think is super good. That's
Yes,
being
he's
left
very-
out of a lot of Sabine decks right now. Heroic Resolve is a good card. Poe, Wrecker, and these are all heroic, so you still get to play your 4-cause.
Yeah.
Red Hero got some sweet cards. Let's see, who else do you think?
I mean, Palpatine's been doing well in events, which is interesting because everyone's like, oh, Palpatine's too slow. But it feels like people are starting to crack the code for how to make that work. Tarkin is one that I've seen a lot of, Yellow
Oh,
Tarkin
yeah.
in particular.
Yeah.
Going mostly space heavy. Triple Dark Raid has been insane for that kind of build with the Lurking TIE Phantom and everything.
Do you think this is a question about Tarkin? Because he was completely unplayable last set.
Yeah.
And the cards that are the versions of him that were played were not yellow because there was literally
Yeah.
only 2 Imperials or 3 Imperials
And now
that were
there's 3.
yellow. And one of them was Chimera. So really there was only 2 Imperial cards for yellow. Do you think that he is better now? Or do you think Lurking TIE Phantom is just so broken that it made Tarkin playable?
Tricky question. I do think better. I will say better. I don't think it's. I think in the same way that you were earlier mentioning, like Kylo may not be as good because, like, yes, you can have blowout turns, but it's kind of hard to pilot sometimes. It almost reminds me of Leia from set one, where it's like if you're able to stabilize against Leia, you won the game. Like against Sabine, sometimes you could stabilize, but it just had the damage from hand to kill you. Where I think the Tarkin playstyle and a lot of times the Kylo playstyle, it's a lot harder to come back over the top. And so I think a really good pilot going against Tarkin or Kylo could find ways around it and like understand their play styles pretty efficiently, because it's like you know what they're trying to do with Tarkin. They're trying to get something out there, buff it to 1 billion, and win the game that way. And so someone who really understands like what the goals are can, I think, combat it a lot better.
Yeah, I think I'm in the TIE Phantom is just busted camp. Like I don't think it's a broken card. Like I think the card's good, but I think it like it punishes decks that aren't prepared for it.
Mm-hmm. Any deck not running Waylay.
Yeah, you need bounce, you need, -2/-2, whatever. Like you need ways to exhaust. Like there are ways to deal with it. You need those ways to deal with it, and if your deck doesn't have it, you just lose. And Tarkin is a good deck to capitalize on that because it just naturally can buff the card, and you don't really have to string together combos of other things. And yeah, I think it just like preys on decks that aren't ready for it, but I don't necessarily think it's like the best deck ever. Mm-hmm. I think like there's a lot of counterplay.
I think it's really cool though. I think it is a cool deck.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Tarkin was one that I wanted to be able to play last set.
Yeah.
And just...
Well, now you can. Do you still have your Tarkin showcase?
I sold it.
Oh,
the play of getting the TIE Advance to buff the TIE Phantom and then, or the Lurking Phantom, and then getting it back and then playing it again on the next turn. I mean,
it's
pretty
cool.
crazy.
Fun, right? Like it's a fun.
I want to do that.
Abilities. Yeah.
But again, I think a good pilot knows kind of what the play lines are and
it.
what you're trying to do and can stop it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's set one leaders that I think got a lot of help that we haven't mentioned yet. I don't think anybody's really cracked the code on Grand Inquisitor, but I think that he did get a lot of help. And there are a lot of cards that seem like they would work well with him.
There was a time where every spoiler review was like, oh, this works good with Grand Inquisitor for like 3 videos in a row.
Yeah.
And it's like still no one's playing him. You don't hear him being talked about at all.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It has the like I think yellow Grand Inquisitor has like some sneak attack plays in particular that you can like get out. The 3/6 overwhelm rate 3.
6/6. Yeah, rate 3. And yeah,
you can attack for I think 21 damage in a turn or something absolutely insane. But even still, it's like if you do the combo, congrats, you pulled it off. But I think the deck probably you can build it to where you don't need to rely on the combo, and the combo is just like a nice bonus.
I think one of the reasons why Grand Inquisitor doesn't feel that powerful is like his plays are so telegraphed because you have to use his ability to like, ready the thing, and that's sort of how you end up dealing a bunch of damage. But your opponent literally sees it coming because they see you ready the unit, deal damage to it. It's just so easy to like finish them off. I think like also there's a lot more leaders in the meta that like do ping damage, and that's also really bad against or Grand Inquisitor is really bad against that stuff. So against like Bosker, against Cad Bane, against Vader, that kind of stuff, I feel like
Tarkin Town.
Yeah, Tarkin Town, like it just feels bad. So yeah, that might be why. So yeah,
unfortunately.
Cool. All right. Well, that was some set one leader stuff. Let's move on to the next question from Talus Wiz. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to pronounce names very well. How do you all foresee rotation occurring in this game? We know that developers have openly stated that the game will have rotation, but given no details on how it will work, do you think that it will be a leader rotation and leaving cards to be evergreen, or will we have a big rotation every 2 years or so of both leaders and cards in deck?
That's a good question, and it's surprising they haven't said anything about it.
Yeah, honestly.
If it's, I mean, the only other focal point we have is like other FFG games, and Star Wars Destiny did every 2 years, so they could do something like that. I don't know how they did it in their LCGs. Do you? I have absolutely no idea.
They didn't until, I think the only LCG that had rotation was Netrunner, I'm pretty sure. And I don't remember how it worked, and I think that it didn't matter because Netrunner died like immediately after they announced that stuff.
So I don't think we have a good way to really guess what they're gonna do.
What do you think about a Fab style like?
I would be totally
rotate?
down with that.
I think you're saying like so the leader rotation after it wins so much essentially.
Not necessarily like a living legend system, but just like I don't know. Ignore the method by which the leaders rotate. Like,
sure,
if the card pool remains but the leaders rotate, is that enough to keep the game fresh?
Maybe it's tricky because sometimes you just get the cards that are busted. Like if somebody ever does just totally crack the code on Lurking TIE Phantom, I think I would rather know either A, they're going to ban the card, or B,
which
hey,
they could do,
not,
right? Like,
yeah, totally.
They could have leader rotation and card bans. I mean, that's what Fab does, right? Like, if a card is too good, they ban the card.
Yeah, absolutely. And people get mad about it, and it's like, why didn't you, balance the game better? Some things you just overlook.
It's impossible. Yeah.
But it's an interesting
Fab
idea.
can get away with it because of the way their system works.
Yeah, because like the decks and
they're
the
not
heroes
always
are so
coming
siloed.
out with they're not always coming out with cards for every class.
Yeah.
Like they can go 4 sets without making a single wizard card, basically.
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like if Star Wars Unlimited had a system where they're not like aspect colors, but it's like Jedi, smuggler, like
Right.
whatever classes, then maybe something like that could work. But I agree. I think like the card pool gets to a point
would
where it's
get
just
way
way
too
too big.
Yeah.
And
Easy solution.
impossible to
Just
design
every
around.
couple of years, change the aspect colors. Now all of a sudden we have pink,
Purple, yeah.
teal,
Aquamarine.
and
Mace Windu would have
And
to be in the
fuchsia.
purple.
absolutely. And then you can't even use you can't mix and match. Well, I guess you could with bases, but you're still choosing 2, so maybe it doesn't work. But.
All right, cool. Well, that is that. Next question from GamerDad. What do you find yourselves drawn to? Do you find that you're mainly exploring decks that are set 2 focused with a small number of cards from set 1? Set 1 decks tweaked with set 2 cards, or just mashing them together about 50-50? With no new rare bases of set, do you find that your decisions in this area are more leader based, i.e. the one sets leader over another, or more mechanics based, like you like capture, smuggle, and bounties, etc.? How do you guys approach it?
Before I answer this real quick,
Yeah.
I was going to say on the last question, what if they didn't rotate leaders and they just rotated the card pool?
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
So all leaders are always available forever.
That would
The
be
cards
kind
from
of
their
interesting.
sets are gone.
Leia's available with no rebels whatsoever, like someone's
Hey.
personal mission to win with it.
I can't imagine Star Wars with no rebels, but yeah,
Fair.
that would be interesting. It would mean that your showcases are always usable.
True.
And retain value.
Yeah,
So there's that.
And that's what it's all about, people.
that's right.
Anyway, for this question, I basically just pick a leader that I think is really cool and I build a deck for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I do. I don't focus either on like what set I'm taking the card from. But maybe like at the start of a set, I sometimes will take like Sabine yellow and be like, okay, let's see if I can upgrade this with some new cards and see how it feels. And then go from there. But outside of that, I just pick a leader and I'm like, let's build a deck.
you just go.
I think when the set first comes out, I look at the leaders that are clearly trying to play around a style, like a play style buffed up by the set. So Cad Bane, for example, like they're trying to go with the Underworld synergy. Like I want to see like, okay, what's going on with the Underworlds that this could be viable or work. And so I'll tinker with that for a little bit. I spent way too long trying to build a Mandalorian Bo-Katan deck, and it just didn't feel great. It just feels like one of those decks that was fun. Stuff happens, but nothing broken enough where I felt like it like actually had some legs to be competitive. So I think I typically start with what's new or like the overarching themes to get at least an idea for the set, but then kind of go back and tinker with like, okay, what's something that could potentially feel broken if it pops and see if I can make it work. Like, could we get 3 Crate Dragons with an Endless Legions? No. Might show me that one. Doesn't happen.
Sadly, the answer is no.
But Rose Tico with an ECL being a 4/8 on turn 4, yeah, that might have some grounds to work and see if we can build some momentum from that. So that one's been one that's worked a lot better.
Nice. I think for me, when a set first comes out, I absolutely gravitate towards the new stuff. I definitely have shiny object syndrome when it comes to card games. So I want to grab whatever the newest, coolest stuff is and try it out.
Yeah.
I find it super difficult to like take a deck that I had from a previous set and like remove cards that I don't want and add cards that I do want. I feel like for me, it's way easier to just start from scratch. It's like, okay, I want to build a Boba yellow deck. I'm not going to take like the initial Boba yellow deck that I had and just like make some swaps. I like want to start completely from scratch and just like rebuild the deck. I feel like for some reason that's so much easier for me. And yeah, that's kind of where my head's at there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sympathize with that a little bit. Definitely the new leaders thing. Like,
yeah, it's fun to play with the new stuff.
No matter what game I'm playing, it's like I play something once and I'm like, okay, I get it. Let me try the next thing.
Yeah.
Like Marvel Champions. Luckily, there's so many heroes.
Yeah.
Because I'll play something a couple times. And I'm like, okay, I want to play something
okay,
different.
I get it. Let's switch. Yep, totally.
Yeah, I'm such like a specialist. Like I want to find the one thing that I can like. This is like I'm not quite like David playing Chirrut 24/7, but I want to get really good with a few couple different things, rather than like master of all kind of idea.
Makes sense. All right, next question. Set 2 sleeper cards from Patrick H. What are your top 3 sleeper cards that you think will blow up once someone cracks the code?
Interesting.
All right, I'm going to have to open up SwooDB in my browser to look through the card set here.
Let's go. There was one I was thinking of the other day. I think Palpatine will be one.
The leader?
Point. Yeah, but that's not... Oh, it doesn't say
set
set
two.
2.
Set 2 cards.
Oh, it does say set 2. Okay, let's look at set 2 and pick one.
Jim's answer is going to be Rose.
The client.
I mean, I've been loving that card. It works really well, specifically in Luke, but outside of Luke, I think it's not usually worth playing. But it works really well there.
Hey, well, it's once someone cracks the code, maybe the code is just play Luke.
Snoke, the client, both feel like sleeper hits.
The client
Snoke a sleeper?
Nasty.
Snoke is...
I think he's
people
super
sleeping on it?
undervalued right now.
Man, people are crazy.
I do think Snoke is still being slept on. I've barely seen it, which has been shocking to me. I'm still looking.
Jim would say Maz Kanata.
It's just a good card. Like, so here's the deal. Yes, you can get it to be like, I just played David in a game. It was an 11-11 at the end of the game. And I mean,
that's
like,
David's fault.
You can't let that happen. But like, it's just a decently valued card. Like, I'm spending 1 and I wreck you game 1 with it. Game 2, you're like, he played an open fire to kill it. I'm like, I'm loving that trade. I spent 1 resource. You had to spend 3. That's like, it doesn't need to get max value for me to be like, this thing did its job. I love that card. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. My answer, I don't know if I'm fully bought into this, but I think Final Showdown could be a sleeper hit.
Okay.
I feel that.
I think that card's
that.
really crazy.
I do too.
I think not a lot of people are even trying it out, and readying all the units that you control just seems like a thing that you want to do, even if the lose the game text is almost irrelevant because you're only playing it when you know you can win, and which means that it's just 6 cost. Sometimes you win the game, and that seems good. So yeah. Somebody will figure it out. Probably like, some double yellow Boba deck.
In theory, Crosshair like has infinite potential, but I do think it's probably balanced.
I don't like Crosshair at all.
I'm just trying to find cards that like could have something. So it has an action ability that doesn't exhaust it that you could keep using.
It does exhaust it. The +1 +0 for the face.
+1/0. But it's nothing crazy. But like in theory, you could have 14 resources
and give it +5 +5 attack.
Right. But I'm like,
that sounds bad.
I don't think it's strong enough to do anything nuts right now.
Somebody will figure that out maybe. It won't be me. Okay.
I have a few.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
Give in to your anger. I don't think anyone's playing that card.
I've never tried playing that card before.
Is that the one like
it just seems
damage
really
and then it has to attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's good.
Seems kind of good. Pre-Vizsla.
I do like,
like-
Pre-Vizsla. Yeah, he's cool.
No one's playing that. Cripple Authority. It's the pay 2, draw a card, and then your opponent discards a card if they have more resources than you.
Nice.
Like
Yeah,
a hand hate
that's
deck
cool.
seems like it would really be able to utilize that pretty
Like Lando,
significantly.
hand hate because you're already destroying your own resources.
Enticing Reward is one that you've been playing a lot, and I don't
Yeah.
see very many people playing
That
that
card's
at all.
crazy.
Heroic Resolve and Hunter of the Haxian Brood.
Also good.
Interesting. I say a new
Now you're
adventure
just
for
naming
me
good
is like,
cards.
so nasty in double yellow.
What is?
A new adventure
Oh, yeah, it can be really strong.
with so many like when played effects, and then also just the things coming in ready. It
Oh,
gets
Swoop
crazy.
Down is insane too.
Yeah.
Like any yellow deck I'm running that has a space unit in it, I'm putting that in there. 'Cause I think that card's just insane.
Yeah.
It's like Shoot Down, except arguably better, or Shoot First, except arguably better.
So why is that card good, but the ship from set 1 that does a similar thing, why is that trash?
Because it costs like 5.
Yeah. Bad stats. And it's way slower.
Yeah.
And your opponent
Yeah,
sees it
it's
coming.
super slower. Yeah, exactly.
And it
Your opponent
does a
doesn't
maximum of 3 damage to something.
This can
This
kill
does like a
leader.
minimum of 5 damage to something most of the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why. Probably. All right.
Everything Mike said.
Let's move on. This question's from Parker. Shout out SwooTV. Video game characters you want to see. No
I
D
need to
House,
see
go ham.
Cal.
So
You two have fun.
you can find a character from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Is that what it is?
Galaxy of Heroes.
Galaxy of Heroes.
What's your favorite Galaxy of Heroes character that's not in Star
I
Wars?
deleted
Limited?
that off of iOS. Sorry.
That's probably smart.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Yours is Cal?
Cal Kestis, by far.
Cal
I think
Kestis
is my
is pretty
top
sick.
pick.
With a poncho?
Yeah, with the poncho.
He's got to have it.
Yeah, got to protect yourself from the rain.
I think there's a lot of cool characters in that series though, like Marin.
Yeah. Marin's my favorite character from that series for sure. Probably
Yeah, she's-
unsurprisingly to anybody who knows how big of a Ventress fan I am.
Yeah. What's the dude? It starts with an M. He's the dude that's on Dathomir. I think it's Dathomir.
Yeah,
That he's like
that he
the
fights
Sith.
against. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember his
It's
name.
like Malachus or something like that. He's really cool. The villain in the second game is really cool.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yes.
from like back during the old
Yeah, the Old Republic
or,
days. Or High
Is
Republic.
it High Republic
Yeah.
days?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's see. Kyle Katarn. Isn't Darth Revan from?
Yeah, that's my answer. Is Darth Revan from Knights of the Old Republic, which I think is fairly unlikely, given that it is not canon. But
Yeah,
if they did that, I would freak out.
that'd be sick.
So That-
There's a lot of cool characters.
yeah, that I haven't played. There are some Star Wars video games that I have not played. Like whatever Kyle Katarn is from, I've never played that. Is that like Rogue Squadron or something like that? Or
No, it's the
Shut-
Jedi Outcast. I think is. What
oh,
it's
is
called.
that what
Jedi
he's
Outcast?
from? Yeah, I haven't played that. I didn't play the Jedi Outcast games. I didn't really play the ones with Starkiller.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what that.
Force
what-
Unleashed.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
Those
I haven't
games are
played
really
that
good.
one. Like all
Republic
those older
Commando.
games, I didn't play. Yeah, Republic Commando, I didn't play that.
That one was awesome. Too.
I played specifically. I played the Episode 1 video game
Okay.
on computer.
That was a good game.
That was pretty
I
fun.
liked it.
I played the Lego Star Wars video game.
Great.
Fantastic. I played Star Wars Pod Racer. Also
Okay.
great. At least when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was,
And
9 years
64.
old. Knights of the Old Republic, the Old Republic, the MMO, and then Battlefront 2, and then the Fallen Order / Jedi Survivor games. I think those are the only ones that I've actually played.
Nice.
But I know
Yeah.
people are really fond of like some of the older Nintendo system games. I don't even know if it's Nintendo, but like some of the older like, mid 90s, early 2000s games that I didn't really play.
Yeah. I mean, definitely Jedi Survivor is like prime for this because you
Yeah.
got the Stinger Mantis.
There's
you
so
can
many
bring in as a
characters
ship,
that they
and-
introduce in that series that are like really well written, I feel like.
Yeah.
And perfect for this game.
Wait, isn't the hunter from the Haxian Brood? That's from.
Yeah, that's from
So we
Fallen
already
Order.
got one from there.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's ironic that it's like that's the character they decided to bring
Yeah.
from.
Well, they have also,
video
I think the Electro Staff, I think is Jedi or a Imperial Purge Trooper, I think.
Oh, okay.
And that's from that game as well. Yeah, and then we have Iden from the Battlefront games.
Yeah. And her crew,
Gideon
Domingo and
Del.
Gideon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm
All right,
surprised that they don't have her
Video
droid.
games.
Like,
Yeah, it could be.
that would be cool.
Could be a thing. I mean, the first thing you play as is the droid.
Totally. All right, last listener question, and then we can talk about Gen Con.
Yeah.
Showdown decks you guys are considering. Showdown season will be upon us before you know it. Do you guys have any idea what you'll possibly run and try to take one down? Are you just waiting to see if a meta settles a little bit beforehand, or are you diving into testing a pet project deck, or are you going with something more tried and true and a few SHD updates thrown in? This sort of leads us into our next section where we talk about Gen Con. But yeah, store showdowns are coming up fairly quick.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm just gonna play whatever my flavor of the month is at the time.
Yeah, that's probably my answer too.
Because I don't care that much about winning this.
Yeah, we
store
already talked
showdown
about how the
compared to-
prizes are kind of disappointing. So
Yeah, like I really wanted a champion mace.
Yeah.
I don't care as much about getting one of these.
yeah, no, me neither.
So I'm just playing what's fun.
I think if it was like a showdown next week, what am I bringing? I think I probably would just bring a Sabine. Like, I think it's one that I could pilot pretty well. And I think people are still tinkering and testing and don't have like fully fleshed out lists yet, that I think Sabine actually could prey on those pretty easily, especially in like some best of threes.
Sure.
You said if there's a store championship next week, that's what you bring. What if there was a Gen Con next week? Is that what you would still bring?
No, I think Gen Con, because we're gonna have like whole podcasts about the stories. If I'm gonna make a deck tech on Luke and don't bring that, shame on me.
You gotta bring something with a little bit more spice.
I
Okay.
do like. I haven't been able to like fully test it. Like, we haven't run a gauntlet together, so sorry to our listeners. It's not like we're testing. Well, maybe you two are, but I haven't tested it against everything yet, so I don't know how it performs against like crazy Kira decks or Palpatine decks, things like that. So it's like, if I had to go and like try to win something real quick, let me just grab a Sabine. Probably Sabine Green right now is what I would look at and try to go take it.
Sweet.
Fair.
Yeah, my answer is basically the same as Jay, just whatever the exciting deck of that week is that I've been playing.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
All right, yeah, let's talk about Gen Con.
Yeah.
What are your guys' predictions for Gen Con?
Oh yeah, I forgot we were doing that. Oh man, I didn't think this through.
Boba's
Now you gotta
hot
No.
take versus Boba's gonna be crazy. I think
All right,
Hot
let
take.
me get a notepad out.
very
Right.
prevalent. I think in the top 8 we'll get at least 2 Boba.
Yeah, are we predicting the top 8 right now? Is that the idea?
Top 16.
Oh,
Let's do
top 16? Oh god, that's too many slots.
Okay, top 8.
Well, we probably should do top 16. There's 3 days of Gen Con though, so
Yeah, there's a lot of events. a lot of
okay.
things
How about this? Let's try to guess categories. So first category is most played leader.
Boba.
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 I think Ray's second though.
Ray's second. Okay.
Ray's kind of on the way. Like, it was like the hot deck.
What's
at
your guys' top
first.
3? What's your top 3?
Boba, Sabine, Ray.
I think I agree with that. Kylo's
Yeah.
like getting some play in there too for like the aggro deck, but I think Sabine's still the one to beat there.
I think it'll be Boba, Sabine, and Han.
Han Green was the other one I had considered.
As in Han 1,
I think old Han.
Yeah.
I think people
Yeah,
are still
old
excited about
Han.
playing that.
I think that's a mistake, but okay. I hope I run into old Han.
I think that deck's so good.
It's still good, yeah. Don't Casino's fun. Like, a lot of the plays are really. You have options with that deck, and I think, yeah, when you're able to like always have plays, always have things to do. Like,
I think
that
people
deck-
really like the tech DJ.
Yeah, they like the tech
stuff.
DJ thing, which is
Yeah.
insane if it works.
Yeah, again,
Just,
if it
you
relies
need
on
to
it-
have an answer to that.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're playing, you have to be able to kill their DJ when they play it.
Yep.
Well, I would say you have to kill tech because they're
Yeah,
putting
tech.
the
Yeah.
Either-
they're putting
either
the
one.
DJ
Either one. Either
Either
one.
one.
Yeah. Because you can kill,
Kill
their
their
DJ.
tech when they play it. If they manage to get their DJ out, you gotta kill the DJ before they destroy your resource.
Yeah.
Right, that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, I'm running 2 takedowns in Rivals Falls. Just
It's-
I'm like, I'm not.
It's
messing with
probably
these.
better to kill the DJ actually, because then they can't play another tech later and bring the DJ back out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So
Yeah, it just depends. I probably
just
depends on like
however
what
it
the
lines up
situation
for
is.
you, I guess.
Yeah,
But yeah, don't get
don't get
Don't
tech
get wrecked.
DJ'd.
Don't get
Um,
tech.
Okay, so what do you think will be the deck with the highest win rate? Top 3 decks, highest win rates.
Tried and true, like blue-green control deck. I think like
Okay.
if somebody brings Iden or Krennic, they're very comfortable on the deck and probably winning a lot on that deck. I don't think it's necessarily
Kira.
like everyone's cup of tea, but I think they're really strong. And I would guess people who are bringing it would typically be really solid on them.
Okay.
What am I guessing?
Top 3 decks with the highest win rate.
Oh,
Highest
Luke,
win rate.
Luke, obviously, because I'm going to be the only one playing Luke, and we're going undefeated. So that one, obviously.
Okay.
There will definitely be a Boba that's undefeated.
Like across all players playing that deck, like total win rate
okay.
for the leader.
And that's where I think Boba goes way down.
That's way different. What about conversion rate? Is that what you're
Sure.
trying to say?
Sure.
Conversion rate?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
like the total number of players. So let's say there's 60 people playing Boba and one of them makes it into top 8, then that's like a really
And
bad
that's bad.
conversion rate.
Yeah, let's go with that. I'm just making this up as we go along, so there's no rules
Yeah.
to this.
So like usually the most played decks don't have great conversion rate simply because the number of people playing them. Not always.
Sometimes
Sometimes that's not right.
that first tournament in the UK, like Boba had an insane conversion rate, and
Right.
it was the most played deck.
There is a like conversion rate to day 2 is usually better to look at too, and this isn't a day 2
Yeah, it's
type
just-
of event.
Yeah, I guess this is just like what do you expect to see in the top 16? I guess I don't know.
Sure. Oh, man. That's tricky. Kira's really strong. Keep calling,
Yeah,
like,
I think it'll be very diverse. I don't think it'll be like 10 Boba Fetts.
Yeah.
I think it'll be like one Boba green, one Boba yellow, couple green Sabines, maybe a green yellow,
Yeah, maybe Kira,
I mean,
maybe
Sabine
Palpatine, maybe
Han green.
Han.
I feel like it's
yeah.
even easier to
Green.
be like what leaders are not going to be there, like your Jins, your Chewies, your IGs, like
Palpatines will be there.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna put this out there. I'm gonna say that Vader green makes it to top 16.
I could see
Good
that.
chance.
Yeah, I like Vader Green. I just can't
Or
play because there's no
Krennic green.
showcase.
That's a little more spicy.
Krennic
We're
green,
gonna see
that
a
is
Krennic
spicy.
green.
Krennic over
in the
Kira.
top.
See, but I think Krennic Green's a great call right now because I think Krennic has good play into Boba, and if Boba's going to be the top deck there,
I feel like Kira is just better into Boba than Krennic is.
that's fair too. Yeah, but I mean, both of them I think are great meta calls right now because I do think Boba with the armor and all of those plays. Also with Boba Fett, it's so diverse. Like red Boba looks so different from blue, and yellow.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you
true.
can
There's
play
like a
any color
million
combo,
different Boba decks that
and
you
they're
can play.
very different decks.
Boba's just really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys knew that, but
Oh,
it's
he
pretty,
good.
pretty strong.
Be real good.
I think Ray is very good. I think Ray, of any leader, so like Krennic's, a cool thing about Krennic is like you get to flip him on 5 and start healing 2 every time, like every round that you get to swing with him. Ray does the same thing except she gets to heal 3. I think Ray's ability to stabilize once she flips is just like so
really strong.
insane against aggro decks that she can, if it's a good player, they can probably like, if they stabilize, they can just eat up these aggro decks.
Yeah.
So I think Ray's really good.
I have seen some people who started on Ray switching to new Han, actually, which has been interesting. So keeping the same red blue hero list and actually swerving that direction.
That's interesting.
I think both have plays. I think Ray is just built so much for like hand disruption right now too that it's like I kind of know what you're doing when I see Ray on the field. But if I see Han, I'm like, are you playing Wookiees? Are you just playing like the good stuff?
Yeah,
I think it has a little bit more what's actually happening here.
it does feel like everybody's playing like the exact same Ray deck.
Right.
I don't know where that came from, but
It's just
play around
turret.
Hill.
It's just turret, but Ray.
Ray, basically. Yeah.
Close to it, yeah.
And I don't think that's the best version of Ray to be found, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think there are better versions of
I'm
Ray.
really interested to try double blue with Ray.
Yeah.
See
There's
what
so
you can do
much
there
healing.
with the healing and the
so much.
go a
healing.
little bit more control with it.
I think
And you
that's where I
have
think-
good like non-blue, non-colored units with 3PO and
Yeah, and
R2D2 that you can buff up too.
Yeah, for sure. Any other Gen Con chat we wanna hit?
I honestly do find myself excited to be playing like Twin Suns, like with a huge
Oh yeah, that'll
group
be
of
fun.
people.
That'll be fun.
Like that's just a format I haven't really thought about, but it is such a fun deck building puzzle.
Reminds me that I need to build a Twin Suns deck to bring.
You're welcome for that. And then
Go
actually
ahead and
getting
build
the
4
draft.
of them.
Yeah, I might as well.
So sick.
The one thing that we haven't covered that we should cover before we get off of here is the promo cards and how you
Yeah.
get those. So
Yeah.
they announced today that you basically every day at 9 a.m. on like the GenCon app or their website or something. They'll make the tickets to purchase them available, and it's first come, first serve. If you get lucky and you get a ticket, you can go and buy the promo card during the day. So that is how you get that. No waking up at 4 a.m. and waiting in line. Everybody's going to be on their phones at the same time in a giant convention center at 9 a.m. And the app's going to crash and the website's going to crash and nobody's going to be able to get it. But at least we don't have to wake up early.
If it works, I'm grateful we don't have to stand in giant lines and push and shove.
Yep.
The nature of these things, though, is internet typically goes out and it feels very unfair.
Yeah.
Do you think
but
they're bringing
I would prefer that.
Do you think they're bringing enough to accommodate how many people are going to want it?
No.
Or do you think that it's going to be one of those things that they intentionally... Do you think they intentionally didn't bring more than a certain amount so that they're rare?
Oh, like, are they trying to manufacture scarcity? I mean, I'm...
Not necessarily manufacture scarcity,
because they definitely are doing that.
Have no intention of making enough to make for everybody to get it.
Probably. I think we'll find out a little bit more once Comic-Con happens and we see how many are available there. I guess Comic-Con's happening right now, right? Like, is that this week? I don't know. It might be this week.
That's this weekend. It's coming.
Okay, it's this coming up weekend.
Well, I guess it started already. Is it like a whole week that they do that?
I don't remember. I went once. It was a lot. But yeah, I don't remember. But we'll probably learn more after that. And then it seems like it's the kind of thing that's going to be pretty limited. And they're kind of expensive. Like, they're $100 for...
They're not cheap.
Like, not expensive in terms of like the value that you get from it, but it's still like you're spending $100 in 6 cards. So it's a bit higher of a price point. I think it's meant to be a more premium collector's product. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't print that many total. And they got to split them all across the 5 events that they've allocated them to. So maybe it's like 100 people a day get it. And that's definitely not going to be enough to fill
there's
demand.
100,000 people at Gen Con.
Right. Are y'all bringing 10 phones each to try to maximize the opportunities here?
Absolutely not.
No shot.
No. No. If I don't get one and you in the audience do get one and you want to sell it, talk to me.
That's right.
Not everybody goes for the whole weekend either. So our best shot is probably
Thursday.
like on Thursday.
Yeah, or Sunday.
Yeah. I trust. We'll get a few.
I think
maybe.
I think we'll get them.
A few is in one, like between the 4 of us, a couple.
Yeah.
Like total, not like all of us walking away with like 12.
6 of us, because my dad's going and
my brother's going.
Aaron's going.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Good time.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, if we haven't mentioned this already, if you're at Gen Con and you want to hang out with us at Gen Con, join out our Discord channel and click the Gen Con role in our roles channel, and you'll get added to the Gen Con channel that we have. We have a separate channel in there that you can access through that so that we don't spam the entire channel with Gen Con stuff, because not everybody's going. But if you are, you should definitely do that. We'll find a way to hang out, meet up, play some games, all that fun stuff.
Would love that.
So do that. And yeah, I think we've we've done enough butchering of this podcast.
No, I think this is a great one. One of the best ones we've had.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.